Halo pemirsa, selamat datang di Special Report program Presidensi G20 Indonesia CNBC Indonesia bersama saya Dian Mirza. Pemirsa, Provinsi Nusa Tenggara Barat NTB mendapatkan kehormatan untuk menggelar salah satu rangkaian kegiatan penting dalam Presidensi G20 Indonesia melalui kegiatan Pra-KTT Y20 Indonesia 2022. Isu transformasi digital akan menjadi tema besar Pra-KTT Y20 Indonesia 2022 di Lombok, Nusa Tenggara Barat. Forum Y20 sendiri adalah sebagai bagian resmi dari Presidensi G20 yang fokus pada kontribusi pemuda untuk masa depan dunia. Dan salah satu partner dalam gelaran Y20 tahun 2022 adalah Pluang. Mari kita simak bersama opening remarks Claudia Kolonas, co-founder Pluang.
Budian for the opportunity. In advance, I want to say good night and salute to Mr. Zainuddin Amali, the Minister of Youth and Sports of the Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Johnny G. Plate, Minister of Communication and Information of the Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Erick Thohir, Minister of State-Owned Enterprises of the Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Zulkifli Mansyah, Governor of West Nusa Tenggara, Mr. Akis R. Huta Barat, Director of the Payment System Policy Department of Bank Indonesia, Mr. Roni Hutahayan, Chief of Special Projects Pluang, Mr. Leontinus Alpha Edison, Co-founder and Vice Chairman of Tokopedia, Chris Agas, Digital Access Program Lead of the UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, Ms. Arian Santoso, Senior Analyst of the Government Affairs and Public Policy of Google Indonesia. And last but not least, of course, the delegates of Y20 G20 Indonesia Presidency in 2022. I am very excited and happy to be able to participate in this event and to share a little bit more information about the program and also be involved in a dialogue about digital transformation with everyone here. Let me start by discussing a little bit about the G20 and maybe explaining about the history of G20. G20 actually stands for Group of 20. In itself, it is a multilateral cooperation forum consisting of 19 countries and one European Union economic area. The G20 is actually the world's main economic forum that has a strategic positioning, collectively representing around 60% of the world's population, 75% of the global trade sector, and 85% of the world's economy. For the first time since the G20 was formed in 1999, Indonesia is now holding the G20 presidency or hosting the G20 presidency this year. And sure enough, given the COVID pandemic, the theme for this year's G20 is Recover Together, Recover Stronger. Pluang, as part of the financial technology ecosystem, certainly cannot and will not miss the opportunity of this international economic forum. Because the financial sector is an integral part of any economy and also one of the benefactors of digital transformation, at Pluang, we believe it's really important to be involved in this economic forum. The G20 was initially founded in 1999 at the initiation of the G7 group. The multilateral forum was formed in response to several world economic crises. The finance ministers and central bank governors involved at that time only focused on how to find solutions to the crisis or issues surrounding the global fiscal and monetary policy issues that was happening in the world at that time. However, as it evolves, the current goal of the G20 is to actually achieve strong, sustainable, balanced, and inclusive global growth. Since 2008, the G20 has convened at least once a year with summits involving the heads of governments of member states, finance ministers, foreign ministers, and other top officials. Meanwhile, the EU is represented by the European Commission and the European Central Bank. Not only state officials, but this forum was also attended by other countries, international organizations, and non-governmental organizations specifically invited to attend the summit. Meanwhile, the IMF and the World Bank are institutions that are regularly and permanently invited to the G20 event. In 2010, a discussion on the development sector was also formed. Since then, the G20 consisted of the finance track and the Sherpa track. So Sherpa is actually taken from the term for guides in Nepal. It's derived from the Nepalese language and describing how the G20 Sherpas actually paves the way to discussions during the summit. Within the Sherpa track, there are actually several clusters, namely working groups or task forces and engagement groups. And only in the engagement group, the private sectors can actually be involved. And hence, this is where Pluang is involved. We are, part of the private sector that is engaging within the engagement group in Y20. Now, a little bit about Y20. Y20 is a momentum for youngsters to make a real contribution in making global policies. As one of the G20 engagement groups, Y20 is a strategic platform for young people from all G20 countries to dialogue, negotiate, and propose solutions to pressing issues in the world. The main outcome of the Y20 summit is actually policy recommendations, namely the Y20 communique that will be given to the leaders of the G20 countries at the closing summit this July. So Pluang will be focused and involved in the digital transformation agenda, which focuses on discussing the role of youth in digital governance and digital financial awareness, where this is in accordance with Pluang's vision and mission to improve financial literacy and financial inclusion. Pluang is a multi-asset investment platform in Indonesia that provides various asset classes such as digital gold, futures products, digital assets, and mutual funds. Pluang believes that diversification is an important concept for the investment experience of our users. We are committed to opening the widest possible opportunities for every community to invest by providing various asset classes in the Pluang platform and for people to be able to invest with as little as 50 cents. We see a lot of interest for wealth tech or investing in millennials. We think this phenomenon is actually a very good sign because it shows the level of investment literacy of the Indonesian people, especially amongst millennials and zillennials, which has increased over time. According to research from some economists, investment formation is one of the important factors that play a vital role in the growth and development of a country's economy. So starting investments early and with as little as possible can actually provide more promising benefits in the future for people. Currently in Indonesia, the penetration for investors is still below 5%. So for multi-asset investment platforms like Pluang, we still have a high opportunity to develop the market and reach more Indonesians to start investing. The average age of retail investors in Indonesia is 30 years old, and we observe a fairly interesting trend among young people where they are starting to be interested in the concept of investment and are already familiar with the use of digital financial applications. In fact, we see that people tend to be more engaged with the wealth tech apps compared to even their banking or e-wallet apps. And alongside the development of digital infrastructures, such as payment gateways, e-wallets, and e-monies, we find that the investing journey for a user has actually become more accessible. As a result, this could result in significant acceleration of financial inclusion in Indonesia. As the largest country in Southeast Asia, with a population of more than 270 million people, Indonesia is a leading country in the development of the wealth tech sector. We have seen very rapid developments in the past 1 or 2 years, especially in the capital markets and the digital asset space. This trend is also related to people's behavior that significantly changed after the COVID-19 pandemic, where people have started to prioritize investing and saving for an uncertain future. We are hoping that Indonesia can be an example and provide a framework for other countries in Southeast Asia to develop the wealth tech sector in their respective countries. Pluang always strives to prioritize financial education so that people can understand investments irrespective of their risk profiles or educational background. At Pluang, we offer multi-asset classes because we believe that we want to give access to everyone, no matter how small their wallets are. In addition, We are always opening up opportunities for collaborations because we believe that financial inclusion requires a joint effort between related business actors and also the Indonesian government. As an entity that wants open access and financial democracy for the entire community, we want to provide a platform with access to investment assets while providing appropriate educational content so that people can reduce their risk due to the lack of knowledge about investing, or even fall prey into fraudulent investment apps. As a young generation in the era of disruption and the era of Web 3.0 transformation, it is important to continue learning about the development of the financial world, the economic ecosystem, both digital and non-digital, as well as future investment prospects. Just remember to invest in products that you understand instead of just following trends. The presence of Pluang is expected to help the fintech ecosystem in Indonesia, especially in the wealth tech space, to make it easier for people to diversify their investments and portfolios. We are also very grateful for the important role and efforts of the government and regulators in developing this sector in the future. Thank you also to the G20, especially the engagement of the Y20 Indonesia group, the host of Y20, the Indonesian Youth Diplomacy, and all parties involved in properly organizing the second pre-summit, Y20 Indonesia 2022. Pluang is ready to step up together to realize financial literacy and inclusion in Indonesia, as well as support digital transformation for the broader ASEAN region and community. Thank you very much. I'm passing this back to the host.
Thank you very much for your opening remarks, Ms. Claudia Kolonas, co-founder Peluang. Tadi seperti yang disampaikan oleh Ms. Claudia bahwa event G20 ini khususnya Y20 dimanfaatkan peluang untuk menyampaikan kepada generasi muda bahwa ini adalah momentum untuk generasi muda. G20 ini sebagai wadah untuk bernegosiasi dan juga untuk provide solution, dan khususnya untuk peluang ini sebagai multi aset di Indonesia yang berfokus pada digital transformasi agenda. Dan peluang juga percaya pemirsa bahwa diversifikasi penting dalam pengalaman berinvestasi, dan dengan mengedepankan edukasi atau literasi keuangan, peluang berharap agar masyarakat Indonesia lebih memahami investasi, memahami profil risiko masing-masing individu serta prospek ekosistem ekonomi digital ke depannya. Dan pemirsa jangan kemana-mana karena special report program Presidensi G20 Indonesia akan kembali usai jeda. Tetaplah bersama kami.